Hi everyone, Phil from Tech for Techs. Today we're going to be looking at this piXL monitor. When I say Pixel, nothing to do with Google smartphone or anything like that. It's spelt in lowercase p-I and then in uppercase XL. Obviously screens have made up of lots of pixels, hence that's why they've come up with the brand name of piXL. Basically the one we're looking at is a 24-inch one. It's got a recommended retail price. Well, they haven't really given us one, but it's going to be roughly in the £90 to £100 mark, which makes it one of the value types of screens. But saying that, comparing it to others, you don't normally get this very thin bezel around the edges, which is ideal if you're having multiple screens. And the image quality from initial inspections actually looks pretty good. Okay, let's have a quick look at the box first of all. The box doesn't say a lot, to be honest. It shows a picture of the monitor twice on there. It's the same on both sides, so a mirror image. All it says is basically it's HD LED monitor, 24-inch. It gives you the name, which is piXL, that's lowercase p-I and a capital XL. It says it's LED, and it's got a picture of a HDMI socket. It's got your general recycling things at the bottom, and on the side it tells you about the resolution, which is full HD, and contrast ratio on there as well, which is 1000 to 1. Doesn't give you any measurements of the size, and from what I've seen of the picture online, the actual monitor looks different. To my knowledge, it's like a slim bezel around the edge, or bezel-less if you want to do it, so and it's very slim, and the base looks like more of a V shape. Instead of this, it looks more round, so I'm guessing they're using a generic box. Would have been nice to have a sticker on the side to say exactly the full measurements, the weights, what connections it uses. So I'm guessing it's just HDMI only from this. I'm guessing it doesn't use VGA, but who knows, because the picture what's on the box doesn't look like the picture of the product what's inside. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the product. This is exactly what's inside the box. So you've got the base the monitor stands on, a screw or two screws which screws the base onto the mount or the stand on the back. You've got a manual or a user's guide, which is pretty generic. Doesn't tell you how to put it together or anything like that. Just tells you about compatible resolutions and different hertz and stuff like that, and how to change the brightness. So very basic. And then you've got your power adapter there. It's a bit like a laptop power adapter. You'd plug into a laptop to power it, and that bit obviously plugs in the back of the screen itself. It doesn't come inside the box, but we was shipped with it the kettle lead, which is the lead what you plug into your main socket and then plug into there to obviously power it. So the base itself, it seems quite thin. It does have little pads on the bottom. I don't think they're rubber, they're more like a felt. So there's 4 of those on the bottom. It does seem thin, but it does seem quite sturdy, so it shouldn't bend, fingers crossed, over time. Let's have a look at the screen itself. So yeah, you can see there, you can't really see the bezel around the edges, so it's basically the screen's right up to the edge, apart from on the bottom, where obviously you've got the piXL logo. It does come with a screen protector on there, which it ships with. There's no little tab or anything to help pull it off, so you have to get your nail or something in there to peel it off. So let's just do that. Which isn't going too easily. Okay, which is interesting because when you peel that off, it's sort of stuck under the edge of the screen bezel at the bottom. There we go. So it looks like they put the bezel on after the screen protector was on, which is now left lots of little bits of plastic all stuck around the edge, which we're going to have to get fingers in and get dirt all over the screen. Not a major issue, but that's how it goes. Okay, on the back of the screen, it seems to have two speakers there, unless they're going to be vents. There's nothing on the box that says anything about speakers. I'll pop up with more information on the screen once I know. You've got your HDMI connection. It does have a VGA connection. Doesn't mention that on the box either. It has got a speaker port which has been covered over, so I'm guessing they're using the same casing for a model with and without speakers. I'm guessing this one just doesn't have the speakers in unless it takes the volume, the sound via HDMI. And then you've got your power socket which is there. It is very slim. It's a lot slimmer than expected. It's a lot slimmer than other things on the market of a similar price, like the AOC monitors that I've seen around. It looks actually quite nice from what I can see. To construct it, I'm guessing we're going to need a screwdriver. So yeah, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. You get the base, pops on the bottom, around about there, and then you put your two screws in and obviously screw them in. So you will need a Phillips screwdriver to obviously attach this, which most people should have one of those lying around. And there we go, and it's as simple as that. Okay, I've set these two screens up. They're basically direct competitors with each other near enough. One's made by AOC and this is the piXL. The exact model number of the piXL is the CM24F31. This AOC monitor is an E2470SWH, and again is a 24-inch screen. Some detailed specifications about the screen. The screen size is true 24-inch. It is also full HD, which is 1920 by 1080 resolution. It's a 16 to 9 aspect ratio. Response time is 5 milliseconds. Refresh rate is 60 Hz. Colors is 16.7 million. Contrast ratio is 100 million to 1. Brightness is 250. It is backlit, which is LED. It does have a stand on there. It states it doesn't have a mount on the back, so you cannot wall mount it, even though it does have 4 holes on the back, but by the looks of it the stand doesn't remove, so that would get in the way. It has VGA and HDMI connections. The power is DC 12 volts, 50 to 60 Hz. It's got environmental certifications and all that. It's black. The actual size of the screen itself, the width is 53.8 centimeters. Height with the stand is 38.5 centimeters. And the depth with the stand is 15 centimeters, but the depth of the screen on its own is just 2 centimeters deep, which is extremely thin for a screen of its size, and especially its price point. And coming to that, its price point is around about going to be the £90 to £100 mark. We haven't been given an exact price as of yet for its retail price, but I'm guessing it's going to be around about that 90 to 100 mark, which is pretty much the same sort of price. This is roughly around about the £100 mark. So it's got that for it. It's basically cheaper, or potentially cheaper, should we say. But it does have other advantages as well. It's got a slim bezel. Compared to this one, it's quite thick. You can see it's about 1 centimetre each side of the screen. This is only a couple of millimetres all the way around, apart from on the bottom. It does have VGA and HDMI connections. It doesn't have any audio, even though it does look like it's got speakers on the back, but they don't seem to work, and it's not listed as one of the things it comes with, so we'll take that as it is. The screen has got a slight gloss finish to it in comparison to the AOC, so you may get a slight reflection on the screen if you're in a bright room. That's one reason I've turned the lights down in here, so you can easily see the screens. It's probably got slightly more of a blue tint, where this has got a red tint under its default settings. Obviously you can go in there and adjust the brightnesses, contrasts and all your different profiles if you so wish. How sturdy is it? Well, if we nudge this AOC, you can see it rocking pretty easily. Okay, and it's got quite a big base on it. Well, if you knock this pixel, it vibrates a little bit, but then it gets pretty much back into where it should be straight away. So it does seem a lot sturdier. I was actually expecting this base to be pretty flimsy, but it's not. It's actually a lot better than, for example, the AOC one, which is a lot bigger. You can see what the screens look like from there. It does look a lot more in depth, the image on this one. If I was to say, looking at it, this one would only be in 720p, and that would be on HD. The picture quality is pretty good, even if it has got probably a slight blue tint to it. But then again, trying to find the exact what should be normal and so forth on, especially on a budget product, is always quite difficult. The viewing angle, I'm viewing it from the side, is a lot clearer than this one. It's a lot more crisp. I can pretty much see that from whatever angle I'm looking at, so I don't have to worry about exactly where I'm sitting. Some monitors you can find you have to sit directly on the front of them to see the picture, where this, it seems pretty clear no matter where I'm standing. Image quality, just to give you an idea what a video looks like, this is just a quick one here, so if I just play that, you can see the colours. It's a lot brighter and more vivid on this screen. Okay, the video says 4K, the screen's not 4K, but it's just to give you an example. The colouring is a lot better. You can see the blues are a lot more blue. This one, just everything looks a little bit more washed out. That's definitely a lot more vivid. If I was making a choice between the two, for image quality, I'd definitely go for the piXL. It's a hell of a lot better in comparison, and even some monitors I've seen which cost quite a bit more don't always look as nice and crisp as that, so they've done pretty well there. And again, you can see here, it's sort of washed out on this AOC screen, and again the grass is a lot more vivid on the screen to the right, and these are both set up on exactly the same machine, so we're just doing dual displays, so everything is set up identically with the default settings. Don't get me wrong, you can go in the settings and probably up the contrast and the brightness and all your different bits and bobs, but out of the box, better experience is this. Just look at the difference. There's just no comparison. One or two things to mention about the piXL screen. What we did notice is there does seem to be roughly a fingernail's width distance between the top bezel and the actual screen and the right side, but the left side is flush. It's as if the casing is a millimetre too big on the top and the side. To be honest, you don't really notice it, apart from in one or two little spots you can just about see little bits of glue, which you're going to struggle seeing on the camera, but if you get real close you can actually see it. So the finish, probably not as good as some monitors, but in all honesty, would you notice it when you're using it? No, you wouldn't. Also, as I said, doesn't come with speakers, which may be a positive or a negative. No DVI, no DisplayPort, it's HDMI and VGA connection only. No wall mounting on it. Comes with a 2-year warranty, which is reasonable. And obviously the box is a bit of... The box art looks good, don't get me wrong, but the pictures aren't what's actually in the box. So it's as if they've used a generic design throughout the whole range. It would be nice even if it was just a small picture on the side with a bit more of a description of what's in there. Let's say you've got a retail store, or you go into a retail store and you see 4 or 5 of these together, you're not going to know the difference between them all. It just says 24 inch. They could be identical, there could be 4 different models on there, just the same size screens but with different ports on. So I would advise the manufacturers of this to put a bit more information on the box, even if it's just a sticker on the side with the full specifications. Would I be happy to sell this? Well, basically, yeah, I can't see a problem in selling this. It's definitely a better picture quality, better user experience, a lot more stylish. The only time I'd probably say no would be if the room was quite bright it was in and there was potential of a lot of reflections, because you are getting a bit of a reflection on the screen depending on the angle and the colours you're showing off. But again, you can see the quality of the images a lot brighter and vivid on the piXL screen.